you're back in the game a little more than average. It's like I'm trying to figure out what's best for me.
Because you have your 80-20. It was never a physical thing for me when I broke up with them.
How do we really feel about late night texts or texts after no contact that reopen everything?
Because they're never going to be like the Prince Charming you had in your head.
Nobody will be. Not even a little bit. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Cozy Up with Regan and Friends. I'm Regan.
I'm Maddie.
And we've had a fun, hectic weekend. Little recap, you had a bachelorette party at our house.
Yep, Friday to Monday. It was so fun. We went out in wigs, went to downtown Phoenix, Gilbert, church, got in and out. Lots of other things.
Always good.
All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. What's your in and out order?
Regular, honestly. Just the number one. With fries.
Oh, we have one of our loyal fans calling in right now. Jeannie,
how did you
be on the pod? Say hello.
Hi.
Bye-bye. We love Jefferson. Okay, sorry. What's your in and out order?
Just regular. I just get a regular cheeseburger,
not double.
No,
regular cheeseburger, regular fries.
Yep.
Oh.
I don't get animal style. I feel like it makes them soggy. I don't like the whole like Flying Dutchman with onion. It just feels like too juicy.
No, Flying Dutchman.
Or the tomato.
Jay gets a Flying Dutchman and then puts it on her fries.
Yeah, it just feels like too much.
Beef onion fries. You know?
Yeah.
I do the double.
I just like a classic cheeseburger.
If I do animal style fries, I get a cheeseburger. If I don't do fries, then I get a double protein style.
Yeah.
So last night I was laying in bed and I started thinking about all these like hypothetical dating situations or hypothetical like relationship would you rathers, and then that led into inspiration for today's episode. And I just thought some of these were kind of thought-provoking, and I figured we could have a good convo about them. So the first one, the first one's like what inspired it all. So would you rather deeply love someone who doesn't love you back, or be deeply loved by someone you can't fully love? And I think with recent dating experiences and like recent situations of sorts, I like experienced both. I feel like more often than not, I feel like I wouldn't say love, but I feel like I put in effort with people, and they don't give it back, and I don't get it back. But then now, like, I've experienced, not loved, for lack of better words, though, I've experienced being deeply loved, but I don't, like, necessarily feel it fully back for them. Which is a kind of a crappy situation,
on, like,
too.
The scenario, like, do you go together and you're just, like, not always really feeling it? Or is it, like, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't be together? I would rather be shown love than not receive it back.
Yeah. I think also for specifically a women's point of view, they always say, like, the man has to love the girl more than the girl loves the man. So I think scientifically, the correct answer would be deeply loved by someone you can't fully love.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. It's just like that's a tough one. But I think at the end of the day,
there's a lot of different kinds of like you can't fully love either. You can't fully love in the aspect of you're not sure that you're really into them, or you're not sure you could build a life with them.
Yeah.
Like those are two completely different things.
You're not really into them or build a life with them. What do you mean by like you're not sure you could build a life with them?
Like you just don't align on big things.
Okay.
Or you do align on big things and they're super into you, but you're just kind of like, I don't really know if I like super feel it. Those are two completely opposite things.
Yeah, and I think they're totally opposite things, but I think they can also merge into one, because I think physical is one of them like kind of physical aspect wise?
Sure, I guess you could say it like that.
Because what would be like, you said, what were your two examples? Big things, and what was the other one? In my head, that's like physical. Like you're just not vibing.
Oh, I'm saying big things as in like you love them so much, but they
I know that was the other one you said though. Like, you had like two.
Everything aligns, but you're just not fully feeling it.
Okay. And why would you not be feeling it? Is that physical?
Maybe just like their personality, or maybe they make like dumb jokes, or
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
just not fully diving into it, but like you're on the same page with all the big important things.
Okay, so they kind of give you the ick, but like you align like religiously and like politically and morally, but like they're just like,
And they're a provider, and they protect you, and they do all the right things, and
yeah, that's like crazy. I would have a hard time not being into them, I think, unless like they're just
yeah.
like a bad person. I can't imagine
Yeah.
all of those things being lined up. But then that
Yeah.
leads into like, what are
But
the
I'm saying
chances
that's
all those
different.
things
That's
line up?
different than like just not aligning,
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
I
question here
think
later.
either way, I would choose to like receive more love than I give. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like there's different kinds of receiving more, like different levels to it,
No,
layers.
yeah, I mean, there's layers to everything.
Yeah.
Would you rather be in a perfect relationship no one understands, or a socially approved or accepted one that feels empty? This one I thought went kind of hand in hand with the last one because I'm just thinking about a very specific scenario. And there is no such thing as a perfect relationship. So I guess I should have maybe changed the wording because right off the bat, that like wouldn't happen. But I guess if we're doing a would you rather, then sure. But I'm like, if I dive, okay, do you have a thought before I'm like rambling to clear my mind?
Yeah, I would be in a perfect relationship no one understands, but at the same time, like, unless it's like really wrong, like,
Because I'm like, why would nobody understand it if it's
I was gonna say, like, my mom has always said, like, a lot of, like, she will very much understand it, and I feel like if I explain to you, the only reason that it wouldn't be, like, perfect is if they, like, cheated on me or beat me, and at that point, then it's not a perfect relationship.
yeah.
But if it is, I don't think there would ever be a case where I would love someone that no one would understand.
No, because these are like the extremes. Socially acceptable. Yeah. I would rather, I'm going to like take away kind of the words of this. And I'm going to say, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to say, I would rather be in a relationship that nobody understands, but is like, feels right and feels whole versus like the one that looks picture perfect, but does that make sense?
No, yeah,
It's like the
for
same
sure.
thing. I guess I'm taking away the word perfect. I don't like the
No,
word
I
perfect.
for sure agree. I would much rather be in a relationship that feels right to me than
I think with recent events, which is kind of also what inspired, I feel like you, me, and Jaya are on very different paths with like very like there's a lot of things going on in like our dating lives. I feel like there's like,
always a lot of things.
there's
There's been a lot of things going on for the past 3
I mean,
years
yeah, I mean
since
that's because we're all
we've been out.
dating.
Yeah.
But like recently, I feel like you're back in the game a little more than average, which is like good. So I feel like that adds like a third player. So like hearing stories from your side, I feel like there's other people involved and there's this happening and that happening. And then like I'm having people like pop out and pop in and pop to the side and pop back, and like Jay is having like there's like a lot of things going on. And I feel like all of us are dealing with like our own issues and our own like moral compasses and our own decisions and our own like adult thought processes of sorts. And I think like we have to understand like nothing will be perfect and not everyone will understand. I guess it's like long story long. That's what I'm like wrapping around to. And I think that's what I'm trying to embrace, like respectfully. But also like if there is issues, you do have to take that into account as well.
For sure. Because like if there is, if it's a healthy relationship, it's a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Nobody has to understand that.
I know.
Not everybody has to understand that, I should say. Like,
no. And relationships are complex. And I think the older I'm getting and the more that fail and the more that I think should be good and aren't good and like whoopity whoopity whoop, it goes on and on and on. And then you find one that's like good in so many ways except the things that all those other ones have been good in. It like has everything but like the one thing that I was looking for in all those others, but all those others didn't work. So now you're in like, now I'm in a cookie. And that's what's like, like my brain is just like always going.
yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to figure out what's best for me.
Because you have your 80-20.
Yeah. And the 20 though is like a heavy weighted 20. but it's also like early and nothing's permanent and nothing's like never say never about anything. But also it's like that's where you have to like
Yeah.
be thinking about a lot of things. I think you mean Jay all have an 80-20. I think we all have something about all of these situations and relationships and interactions. I think that there is like a
There's going to be an 80-20 when you get married too.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's always going to be an 80-20. It's what you choose.
It is. And that's hard. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
It's stressful. It's stressful to figure that out. Would you okay, this is a deep one. Would you rather lose the love of your life or never have met them at all?
I've been thinking about this since you sent it.
Because like it is truly
To know them and lose them would be horrible, but to never know love would also be equally as horrible.
horrible. Like all we like pray for and desire, at least for me, is to find love and to be loved and to experience that like true
Yeah.
love. Like I get so excited thinking about the day that we do get to experience that. And I know losing it, like once you have it, would just be horrific.
Because then you compare everybody to that after.
You do. But then it's also like
I think I would rather have it and then lose it.
and never to have had it.
Yeah.
Then you just like you can live off of those memories and like there's obviously a purpose for everything. So like us as Christians, we would trust that like that was God's plan. That's like supposed to be there for like switching it to that. But if you see people go on and they push forward with the memories of those people.
Yeah. I think, yeah, for sure. I think I would rather have it and lose it, which would be a really tough thing than to never experience it at all.
100%. It's like my worst fear is never getting to experience it no matter what happens after the fact.
It's also my worst fear to have it and then lose it.
Yeah. This isn't a would you rather, but this one I thought was interesting. And okay, we're just going to dive in. Would you want to know what went wrong in every past relationship?
Yeah.
You would.
Mhm.
Like when you really think about it, you would want a man to sit there and be like, this, and
Yeah.
this.
Because if he's never coming back, then I'm not like trying to repair it with them.
I know,
you
but like
have to also
imagine.
realize that when things go wrong, it's not always you.
No, but to their point of view, it
Right.
probably is.
Yeah.
So
Or-
imagine only reason I would say maybe no is because imagine like man after man after man is like, this is wrong about you, this is wrong about you, this I don't like, this I don't like.
But you have to understand going into it, like that's their personal.
I know, but it would
Opinion.
like, there's some things that don't need to be said. So when it says everything, even if it was like, I didn't like the size of your butt, you heard that from 4 different people. Like I know it's like just
Yeah.
their POV, but like that would still suck.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have,
I don't know. I would want to more hear it of like like you were too expectant and not giving enough. Like I don't care about like the physical.
well, I know, but like men are men, and I think you would get it all.
Well,
You would
yeah.
get like the things you don't want to hear. Yeah, if they were like mature and be like, well, I didn't like your communication style. Well, like, yeah, that's an adult conversation. You could get that.
That's what I'm saying. I
But
think
if
I
it's
would want
like-
it for that so that I could like take that and better myself or not change myself, but like keep that in mind going into a new relationship.
Yeah, that would
To
be
like
cool.
grow from it. Because you would get the negative of like, oh, you had hair on your big toe. Your
Yeah,
voice is annoying.
yeah, but you don't want to hear that from every person. Like, I don't want to hear that I have like a nasally voice from every person.
But then you might also get that like, oh, you expected too much or your expectations are
For
too
sure.
high. And
It's
then,
just, what do you think about the question? Would you want to know everything that went wrong? I don't know if I would. I think like that's where ignorance is bliss sometimes.
yeah.
I think the big issues would come out without like this question, but that's just,
But when you think about the situation of like ghosting and stuff, especially people who you thought you had like a good chance with, I think it would be beneficial to know. I almost would because it's not like I'm trying to go back and get back with them.
no. It would just depend on how secure you are in yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think like even if I heard like, oh, you're too big, or oh this, or oh like I didn't like this about you, or your teeth are weird, or whatever, like part of you says like, oh, I would just brush it off, like that's just me, like
Yeah.
whatever. But I think like once again, like you hear it like time after time after time, or like you do think about it. Like imagine your insecurity is what they brought up that they didn't like about you.
Yeah.
You know, that would suck.
Yeah. I don't know. I just look
But
at more of it as like a growth moment.
Yeah.
Like if they said everything that they felt like went wrong in a relationship. Because, like, most of the time, like, guys notice things, but they're not like super, super observant about things. Like, they're not going to break up with you just because they think that your teeth are weird, because they wouldn't have started dating in the first place if that really bothered them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Or they thought it would get better and it didn't.
Yeah. It'd be more like,
because you have to think, okay, take a minute and think about the people that you've talked to, the people you are talking to.
it was never a physical thing for me when I broke up with them.
It wasn't, no, but there are things on the list that you would have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And imagine you had to say those out loud.
I don't know. I guess I'm not. Yeah. I still would like to hear it though.
Okay. Yeah. You really feel about late night texts or texts after no contact that reopen everything?
They always come back. It's just a matter of when.
It is
And how.
interesting how they always come back.
Yeah.
Have you ever sent the text? Because I'm going to be the first one to raise my hand and say I have.
I don't believe that I have.
Sometimes I get bored.
I will respond depending on how things ended. But at the same time, that doesn't give them access to me in the way of me seeing them as a potential long-term partner again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. There's a lot I don't respond to.
Yeah.
And there's a couple that I have responded to. And there's a couple that I really think about for a long time, but then usually don't. And I don't think you can, I don't think you can knock them some of them I don't think you can knock completely off the table. Like if they came back,
Yeah.
I think it's a possibility to give them another chance, but also it's like you do have to always keep that in the back of your mind what happened
Right.
before.
And just like remembering how it ended before. And like sometimes like I feel like guys, it's like an ego check-in.
Yeah, you have to be
Like,
careful because it's like
do I
the
still
last
have
thing I
the
want to do.
charm? Do I still have am I still good enough to go circle the block and like get attention from her again and then drop her off again?
Yeah.
You know? So I think, yeah.
And the last thing I want to do is like give them the ego boost or the satisfaction or gratification.
Still, yeah.
Which is usually why I don't respond. But then, yeah. It is just funny.
There are certain situations where like time has passed and you've grown as a person. Like it didn't necessarily end super bad. So.
No, and I think that's where if we go back to like that one question where it's like kind of along the lines of a relationship no one understands or a relationship that everyone approves of. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh man, it's just nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to make sense to everyone. And I was listening to this podcast once. I listen to a lot of dating podcasts. And I've always thought about it ever since then. And she mentioned, and I wish I knew who so I could give them credit. But she said, you don't need to tell everyone everything. Mm-hmm. She's like, especially when you're in like a serious adult relationship, you don't need to mention everything to your girls, to your family, to whatever, because then it's like, then they form their own opinion. So I've even started doing that now simply with like, if they have like an off texting day, I don't need to mention it right away, because as soon as I mention something negative, then the girls are going to be on defense. And then it's like, say like he blows off, I don't know, if he goes off a date that's like kind of bigger, but like there's like things now that I don't mention all the bad. The bad is between me and that person a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think that's always kind of made sense, especially if it's like more serious. I mean, in the beginning stages of dating, when there is like a slip up, trip up or whatever, it's like, okay, well, it's new and you can like talk and like rehash these things out. But I think that it's been a very long time and I've actually gotten to the point of having that conversation with a man of like things that happen between us will stay between us unless there is a reason. And that's just because if you run to your family and you say there, sir, I run, to my family and my friends and I say all these things, I might forgive you and we might be good, but they won't because they don't have the kind of love that I have for you.
Yeah. And then that's tough because it like sucks, because there's nothing worse for like a very specific instance. Say this man like is wishy-washy on his communication or his texting, and you're like, F this, like this man, blah, 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 like he did this, he's acting weird, he's doing this. So now the girls are like, yeah, like F this dude, whatever, like we don't like him anymore, or say like, and then you forgive him because you have a conversation. But I'll also be the first to say like, I have a hard time switching back. Like I don't, because I don't see, or friends don't see like the one-on-one conversations.
Right.
They don't feel it. They're not there for the intimate parts. They're not there for the bonding. Like there's a lot that goes into it. So I think it is better. I don't have any idea why I started talking about this.
But there is growth and also sharing things, because if you're constantly having to hide things that they're doing, then that's like shameful as well, because you shouldn't have to hide how your partner's act.
No, I just think like all like the
There's
little things don't need to be brought up.
There's a big balance of like keeping things between you, but also like not covering everything up.
Yeah. Or say like you were in a committed relationship and it was like, we'll say Freddie didn't take out the trash. Freddie's not doing the dishes. Like Freddie left his trash out again. Freddie didn't. Like if you're just like saying all those things to your girls, well, one, like you need to probably get in check if you're just angry. But two, if all I'm saying is that stuff to like you and Jaya, then obviously you and Jay are not gonna have a very good perception of this man. But I'm clearly still staying in a relationship. So now you guys are like, okay, Regan, what is it? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what made me think of that. What was the last question? Yes. Late night texting. I have no idea how that swung around from late night texting. But
Wait, was it a question or was it just like...
No, I just got on a rant after the late night text question. But I feel like the late night texts or the like texts after no contact definitely are frustrating, but also very flattering. And it's like, it's definitely like it's like, oh, you're thinking of me like randomly on a Tuesday. Like there's truly nothing better. Like, why are you thinking about me? But yeah, cool. Awesome.
After the fact.
But then there's also like nothing more frustrating, especially if it was somebody that you like really liked, then it's like, you're just doing your thing, living your life, like truly trying to heal.
Right the first time.
Yeah.
And then just let it go.
Yeah, that's like a whole thing.
That's like the whole point. That's frustrating when they try to come back, because it's like, you had your chance.
Yeah, like nothing's changed on my side.
Nice. Yeah.
So what now? You're lonely? Yeah. The other girl didn't work out?
Exactly. So it's like, you I don't know. Why now?
Why now? Because they're bored, usually, or the ego boost. And a lot of times it's not like genuine. I've had this one guy come back twice, initiate drinks, very like eager, excited, whatever, like someone that I like really liked from like a long time ago. And I like was like, oh yeah, for sure. Like I would love to like reconvene, kind of toxically, but like also just out of like interest.
Yeah.
Twice I have let them, this is one person that I'm a sucker to respond to. Twice I have let them text me. I respond. We talk for a while. We literally plan like a tentative date. It gets closer to the time and then like never hear from them. And it's happened twice. And then months will go by. And I'm like, wait, you're the one who planned the date, said, isn't this exciting? Isn't this? And then like completely disappeared. Like, were you just seeing if you could get me to agree to go out? Yeah. Like that is like such an odd philosophy, but I feel like that's literally what has to be happening.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. So bizarre. I'll even like double text and just confirm like, hey, like, are we still doing this? Just crickets.
Nothing.
And I'm like, okay, like that's so weird. So weird. But men are odd.
Yeah, they are.
And like, yeah.
You just gotta find one that you can put up with the type of odd that they are.
Yeah.
Because they're never going to be like the Prince Charming you had in your head.
Nobody will be. Not even a little bit. And it's truly...
They will not remember your dog's birthday.
No, and they don't want to text good morning. Another podcast. Or maybe with my mom. My mom was like...
They don't want... Or maybe they don't genuinely understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think within reason some men do, but also like... I don't think... Sometimes I just think they're just oblivious.
Well, like I had a man recently say, I'm a hopeless romantic. I like this, blah, blah, blah. Date went well. And then this man will go like 4.5 days without talking to me.
Yeah.
And then like plan tentative dates and then not follow up. So tentative dates don't go through. And I'm like,
communicate at the first glance, it's like, okay, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just kind of being a stupid guy. Then if you communicate, hey, if you're a helpless romantic and you're saying all these things and then you're not following through with this, like, you should fix that because I don't think this is how I jive.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't, then it's like, okay, now you're just being stupid.
Yeah, and I've done
it's like the first shot, they're oblivious.
The first one I like, laid it in kind of and was like, hey,
Yeah.
what's going on. And they're like, I'm going to be better. I'm going to try to be better. It's something I'm working on. Boopity boop.
Then the
And then,
second,
like-
third, fourth, they know what they're doing at
And
this
then
point.
I've like stopped caring and I'm like, whatever. But then it's like, you can't, the only thing that bothers me is like, you can go all week without texting me. That's fine. But do not plan a tentative date and then go MIA.
Yeah.
Do not say, oh, we could maybe hang out Friday or Saturday. And then I haven't heard from you since Wednesday. It's Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And then either I hear from you at like 6 p.m.
Right.
or I don't hear at all until like Sunday. And I'm like, okay, so you just like completely skipped over our like tentative plans.
Or didn't even take the initiative to like recheck in or actually make a plan.
No, and it's like so confusing because then they're like, oh, I'm so interested and I'm courting you and I really enjoy our time together. And I'm like, okay, well, like you have a phone.
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
But that's what I'm saying. The first time you could be like, oh, he's just a guy. He's oblivious. He doesn't know that I expect this.
Yeah.
And then the second, third, fourth, fifth, you know, it's like, you know what you're doing at this point. If you wanted to change,
is
like
that hard.
Yeah.
It's like so crazy, but I'm rambling. I feel like I've just been rambling this whole time.
You gotta ramble sometimes.
I know clearly I had this stuff on my mind. I just feel like it's just a whirlwind. I don't have any more. I just feel like it's a whirlwind of life lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if my brain's just a whirlwind or if like everyone is, but I just feel like everything's just like a little chaotic.
I think you've had a lot of changes and a lot of time to think about a lot of things.
Yeah, I have, unfortunately. Yeah. And I'm like, fine, but it is just a lot of time to think.
Lots
of time. Lots of time to think and do nothing, but try to do something.
Thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus me, I'm like, I don't remember what man I'm. Who's on deck?
Who's on deck?
Who's on deck right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's top?
I don't think me having a job would help Mr. MIA like at all. But there is just like, yeah, there's a lot of time to like stew and think and process things.
Mm-hmm.
But
which makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Life is a highway.
I'm gonna ride it
all night long. But alrighty, should we wrap her up? Do you have any other like relationship questions? Would you rather's, deep dark thoughts, anything that keeps you up at night? Any frustrations as of late on the dating app?
Yeah. So this is just like a point most recently that like I was with a guy who was doing some crazy behavior and he decided to bring like money into it. And he was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like if I do this because I'm going to make you a stay-at-home mom and I got money and we can do this. And I said, I looked him in his eye and I said, I do not care how much money you have. That will never, it wasn't cheating. It wasn't like anything like beating me or cheating or anything like of that caliber, but just his behavior as a person, how he carried himself. And I said, I don't care how much money you have. That's never going to make me, you're never going to buy me into a relationship.
No.
Because I'm not putting up with that behavior. And so I think that's a point that sometimes guys with like an ego will get like, well, I can act however I want to because she wants to be, you know, she wants to be like a stay-at-home mom and I have money and I can do that. And so like she's going to put up with whatever I want to do. And I was very clear. I was like, no,
there's certain behaviors that definitely.
I will not be excusing behavior just because of the lifestyle that you can provide.
Yeah, unless we're talking like billions of dollars, truthfully, that does change things. But no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've never had a man wave his money in my face. I think money helps. Money is a factor. Money doesn't solve everything.
Right.
Especially when like, just like you said, like it wasn't anything serious, but it was enough to make you like kind of uncomfortable and like not really proud of what had happened.
No. And so I was like,
and then it just wasn't a good look for anybody, and anybody who knew would have said the same thing. Like, yeah. And it's just like weird. And then for him to act that way and do all those things, and then for that to be, I don't know if that's all that came out of his mouth, for that to be even something that came out of his mouth to try to make the situation better. It's like really an odd sitch.
That's why that was just on my mind recently is like, yeah, it is nice to know that like I could be financially secure with you, but at what cost?
Like it's not worth it at a certain point. Yeah. Not if that keeps happening. That's like, it was like odd behavior. Right. But yeah, like I said, men are just odd. And like sometimes they ask you the question, like, how are you single? Like, you're so beautiful, you're so great. I'm like, no, I know. But there's a lot of, I'm like,
you're the problem.
You're the problem. I hardly ever ask a guy, why are you single? Because usually it's very obvious.
I'm about to find out.
Yeah, like give me like a week or two.
Yeah.
It's going to make a lot of sense. And they probably think the same thing about us. Potato, potato. But all right, well, we can wrap her up there. I'm sure we'll have more deep, thought-provoking relationship issues in the future.
The next 5 minutes, probably.
Yeah, there's always something. But hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'm trying to think of anything that's coming up. Nothing. I think things are slowing down.
Nothing out of the
Summer's around the corner, and if you know anything about Arizona summer, it is something.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like in our personal lives?
Yeah, just like anything.
Oh, I start grad school in 9 days.
It's very exciting.
I have 22 days left of school.
I'm a busy girl.
And then I have a wedding in Florida.
Yeah, I have a wedding in May.
And then I will be driving up north for the summer, so.
Cheenie's going to miss you.
Too hot. It's too hot for me.
I know.
Plus, I feel like I need to go up north and just focus on
school. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. You're going to miss the pool?
Yeah. At the lake.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, we'll wrap her up there. I'll see you guys again next week. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Just